Masks of Gnarltep is set in the 1920s. We will be using terms and sayings from those times, including some that could be considered offensive. It is not our intention to offend, we merely wish to offer as accurate a view of the time period as possible. Welcome to the Nerds Domain presents Masks of Gnarltep. Join us each week as our investigators follow a path of clues and attempt to save the world from an ancient evil. Starring John Quiet, Justin Kimmett, Shirley Nedswicki, George Chipples, Jason Hall, and Scott Troiano, with me, Matt Quiet, running the table as the Keeper. Eldritch evils and crazed cultists await you just beyond this music.
Hi, welcome to the Nerds Domain podcast. I'm Matt, and today I'm here with Shirley.
Hello.
Scott.
I did nothing.
George.
Hi.
Jason.
Hello.
Johnny. Justin.
It's been too long since I've killed someone.
Johnny.
Hi.
Okay, good. We're clapping, obviously.
That was awesome.
Last time we left off with...
Nikes, are you okay there? We're not in the shower.
Last
even though
time we just got back from Erica Carlisle's, where we stole some books!
Yay!
Where to now?
Minor theft.
Arkham!
Well, and then some of us read the books and went, woohoo!
Yeah. So, John,
I have an appointment.
you have an appointment.
Well, maybe. I asked for one. He may not.
You're going over there first thing in the morning, or are you grabbing breakfast with everyone first?
Would that be related to your credit rating, perhaps? Dun dun dun. It all comes back to the credit rating.
Yeah, it does. No, I'll eat a sensible breakfast first. Gotta get time.
You
to
gonna
get to
match
the
with
office.
everybody, meet up with everybody for that, like you have been doing?
Sure. Yes.
Corporal, you need to get on board. Get a full English breakfast. Start off your day.
Honestly,
properly.
that sounds good today.
Yes, it does.
Clearly, he's gone crazy. No offense to our British listeners, we love English breakfast.
Oh, yes, we do.
God save the Queen?
Blood sauce.
That was awesome.
Can't start the day without some critters.
So, you all
Little
meet
bubble
for,
and squeak. It's really good. Trust me. Try it.
meet for breakfast again. Breakfast goes by uneventfully. How's it go?
I eat breakfast.
When are we going
I'm
to...
assuming with chopsticks.
When do we plan on going to Arkham? When do we
These
plan on
eggs are
going to...
underdone.
When do we
Don't
plan
they
on
have an
going
apple
to...
over here?
Was it Arkham?
Arkham.
Arkham. When do we plan on going to Arkham?
When would you like to go to Arkham?
Tomorrow morning.
What's Arkham?
Oh, okay.
Are we going to Arkham?
Are we going to Arkham?
So
Are
what
we
is
going
on the
to Arkham?
schedule for the day?
I'm slightly concerned about... You're giving me a funny look. Somewhere today I need to go see a man about a horse. I'm going to go talk to a
I
farmer.
thought it was a cow.
It is a cow.
Okay.
How many people are around us right now? I'm going to take a quick look around.
It's there's a few.
Why are you discussing
They're just going to think I'm crazy anyway.
horses and livestock?
You can always use a different language.
Something about original.
You're right. I will start speaking in Latin.
You are in a nice hotel. Most well-educated people in these days speak more than one language.
And I don't speak anything awkward.
Arabic?
Neither do I.
Greek?
German?
Nope.
French?
Nope.
Italian?
I don't speak frog surrender language.
Wow, you're about a decade too early for that.
Yeah.
Or 2 decades too early for that.
Some things are just true no matter what time or era.
Wow. We apologize to our French listeners.
We're just
All
going to
one
go
of them?
around Central Europe.
NerdsDomain.com does not support or...
We apologize to our Penguin listeners for our last episode.
Yeah.
You cheese-eating surrender monkeys.
Oh, well.
Okay, so...
Tomorrow...
The opinions expressed by Jason do not necessarily affect the opinions of NerdsDomain.com nor any of its subsidiary corporations.
Tomorrow, not tomorrow, but tonight, at around midnight, I plan on going to a farm with a couple of people. You're all more than welcome to come.
Oh, we are all invited. Interesting.
Yes.
We are.
Great.
I was unaware that
Sounds
we had
fun.
all been extended an invitation.
I will warn you, it will involve the death of a cow.
I
assume this does not bother
Yes.
anyone.
As in, we're going to have a bit of dinner.
Not particularly.
Why are we killing a cow?
I've already had this discussion.
You did not
Were you
say
not
that
paying
did
attention?
Well, you have not had the conversation
I
with
didn't-
me,
I didn't-
Killing
sir.
them.
Yes. You know that hamburger you ate yesterday? That's a dead cow. They die. It's
So
what they
you're
do.
so you're going to slaughter the cow.
We're
for...
going to go to a farm that I have visited in the past. I'm going to complete a ritual that I have done upon my shillelagh. Upon my good friend's knuckles. Brass knuckles.
Knuckles?
Brass knuckles. It involves the death of a cow. I pay the farmer to keep his mouth shut. He gets to keep the cow. It will
He's
be
blessing them.
dead.
So,
Do you need anything
Corporal,
blessed?
you're going to then go around killing people with your brass knuckles, much like he kills them with his stick.
If they deserve
No,
it.
I'm just patting.
If they deserve it.
I'm just making sure I have every, gun available to me, every tool available to
Every
me.
advantage.
Yes.
Oh, so this is not
An
something that would
no.
cross your line of...
No.
I would be quite interested to see this.
I am, as I believe I stated earlier, an animal's life is going to die sooner or later. Anyway, not as in human. Humans are going to die sooner or later also. That is not what I mean by that statement. What I mean is it is off to the slaughterhouse anyway. It is going to be turned into, I presume, ground beef, glue, whatever it is they do with horses. I don't live on a farm.
I thought you said cow.
Cow. Whatever it does with cows.
Oh,
To be honest, it just needs to be a large animal. I prefer cattle.
if
They're
you're-
less...
If you're trying to compel
Yes.
me to find a reason of why killing large animals is acceptable, you have no need.
Oh, I forgot who I was talking to. You're right. Nothing
So
will
at
be
the
going to
earliest
waste.
possible at the earliest possible convenience, I'm going to make my leave here.
So Mr. Byrne stands up and says, "Well,
It
that's,
says,
I'll meet you this evening. I have a meeting."
Yeah. So if I'll be in the office after my meeting. If anybody needs to get a hold of me, you will know where to find me.
There is something else I do need to warn you about the ritual. I have read in books, much like the book I loaned to you, that sometimes people who partake in these rituals are not the same when they're finished. I have only done this once in the past. I have no idea how often it requires a ritual to be done, and I have no idea if this sacrifice will be too great. I have asked Miss... Her water's in my way. McCree to finish things if it needs to be finished. I trust her. She has been in my employ in the past. I do not wish to become that which I wish to stop.
And what steps is she to take if you do?
The same thing I do to the people that I do to.
Beat them with your stick?
I believe she prefers to use bullets.
Fair enough.
I will definitely keep an eye on him and make sure I put him out of his misery.
You should have the gun drawn.
It will be.
So, if things go wrong, we're going to be putting the good man down. Interesting. It should be fun.
So Johnny, you take the short
Should
walk
be eliminated.
over to Prospero House,
Yep.
and Mr. Kensington is in his office, and you're waved in. And Mr. Byrne, what can I do for you this morning?
May I sit down?
No, absolutely.
Okay. So we discussed some missing items, and you expressed an interest in possibly obtaining those items. Is it safe to speak here?
I wouldn't see why not.
Okay. I didn't know if your secretary had.
Oh no, absolutely not.
There were books that you expressed an interest in acquiring in the case of Mr. Elias's investigation.
Could you be more specific?
I rattle off the list.
I wasn't necessarily. I wouldn't turn down those being added to my personal collection, but I wasn't necessarily looking for them. I was just mentioning.
I thought you were interested in completing Mr. Elias's book. You
I'm
had
not.
his notes and everything.
I'm not
Just
sure that
curious.
I can do that. However, there's still research to be done. I believe. You could do that. I would be happy to publish it.
So, if I were to tell you then that I may have a lead on where these books are, what would you say to that?
I'd say make haste to acquire them.
Would you be interested in taking them off my hands if I were to do so?
I wouldn't turn down purchasing them. No. What are you looking here for here, Mr. Brown?
Is this out of character?
No.
Or, okay.
No, Mr. Byrne.
Well, I don't think I'll have any use for them based on what my colleagues have said, and I'm just trying to get the best use of them.
You seem to be in the company of at least one learned man, if not more.
Yes, but I mean,
Would
in the
not.
realm of books, I thought you might be. If you're not interested, I didn't. It was just a. I'm just feeling out the situation.
I would be happy to purchase them from you.
Okay.
Give me a price.
I'll write down 25,000 on it.
25,000?
Yes,
For the 4.
for the Ford, the whole set.
I want to make sure Johnny understands that that's an extraordinarily large
I'm
amount.
taking my cues from Scott.
Okay.
I said go high.
Okay. He looks at the piece of paper. He chokes on nothing,
Yeah.
and puts it back down and slides it like halfway back across and says, "Why is it that you believe these books are worth so much?"
It's just a feeling that I've gotten based on the investigation thus far.
I could offer you, at most, maybe 2 or 3% of that.
Okay.
Cut the number in half.
All right. Yeah, I'll offer half that, 12,500. How do you feel about that?
The most I could possibly give is $900.
Okay. Well, like I said, I was just coming by to see if you were interested. But if I apologize, but I'm probably going to go a different route.
It's understandable. Well, then, I'm sorry that we couldn't come to a more.
No. That's quite understandable. If it's not something you're interested in, I understand. We may still talk about who to go to if you are seriously interested in finishing that book once
Oh,
we're
absolutely.
done. I'll be in
happy.
touch.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, the reason why I suggested anything that high and then had you cut it in half
Yeah,
is because if he was
we
one of
were
the
on the same page.
if he was one of the crazies, he'd have gone, well, I could maybe do 6,000,
Yeah,
and then
that's
you're like,
exactly why I had this meeting.
Okay.
I just wanted to, I had a suspicion that he might be involved and wanted to lay it out there that I was close. He didn't bite, so my suspicion's a little lessened.
Right on.
Or he might just want to go tell his friends who he needs to kill to get the books. So he's
Well, that's why I told him I had an avenue of inquiry. I thought I was close, and I wanted to feel him out first.
I'm going to pull aside the 3 men after dinner.
The 3 men.
Or, I'm sorry, the 3 of us. The two gentlemen who's not
Okay.
crazy with a stick.
the upper crust is going to go have a meeting.
The upper crust. And inform them to say, oh, by the way, gentlemen, just so you are aware, with this ritual this evening, he has made arrangements with Miss McCree. However, I do wish it to be perfectly stated that if things go awry, I will not hesitate to use my Winchester to take his head clean off his shoulders.
Weld looks concerned but doesn't say anything.
I just wanted to make sure you didn't have any qualms with this. Excellent.
Gives a slight shake of his head. Yeah.
So, Botticello contacts his farmer friend.
Hello, farmer friend. I need to
Hello, Mr. McDonald.
insert farmer's name here. I would like to rearrange our previous arrangement.
Okay.
I need a cow, a harness, and 4 ropes,
Okay.
and a pulley.
Okay.
I will supply the $75 again.
Okay.
You will have a deceased cow at the end. And I assume, once more, this will be kept private.
Absolutely. Sounds like a plan.
The dead cow with tainted evil meat. Out of character.
Uh-huh.
You're giving the guy $75
Yes,
for a
a
cow.
large amount of money for a cow. It is more the secret than the cow.
His whole farm might be worth
Exactly.
This farm's probably worth 3,000 or 4,000. These are large. These are still decently large
Yeah,
farms.
this
Is
is
it a
the-
couple hundred acres? I mean,
The more you offer, the more likely they are to comply. And if this sort of thing gets out, I'm in the loony bin.
As opposed to roaming around free.
Okay, so you have
you
set
are
up your
now.
account. Does anybody else want to do anything during the day?
I don't have anything to do.
Okay.
Oh, I'd probably go visit the theater and see how everyone's gone.
Okay.
I will start on the first book.
I will read mine also after I
Okay,
make
you
the
two
call
both
first.
spend the time on your book?
I do as well.
All right.
I'm going to rest and relax because I peeked into mine last night and didn't like it.
Okay. So the three of you start on your book. I need you to all mark down one day. I'll let you read the whole day. You head to the theater. You meet with your friends and talk and probably put on a show, just kind of stepping in there. They know that you're on hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
You let them know that it's going to be a little bit longer. Yes?
Yes.
I need you, as you're leaving the theater, probably several hours later, I need you to make a spot hidden.
Yep.
Okay. You don't notice anything yet, but you will later, assuming you continue to make those. Where are you headed after that?
I mean, like, it's starting to get evening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go back to the hotel, probably have dinner, and try to find these guys, and get ready for the ritual.
And you head back to the hotel. Give me another spot hidden.
Yep.
Okay. As you reach the hotel, you notice that the car that you saw with a white gentleman that you saw as you left the theater, you've seen again at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long enough walk, and you went across a couple different streets. Doesn't make any sense. And he kind of stops about half a block away and parks when you see you going into the hotel.
Alrighty then.
So,
Dun, dun, dun.
what else do you do for the rest of the day, John? Or Ian, Byrne?
Ian spends the day in his office brooding.
Okay.
Even if somebody knocks on the door, I don't answer it.
Okay.
Make it look like we're closed.
Okay.
However, I would do that.
And what do you do for the rest of the day, Scott?
Rest, relax.
Okay.
Take an easy afternoon.
And then I would wind up back at the hotel.
For dinner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like basements and books bound with demon flesh, and yeah, we need to take a little me time.
The day goes by pretty uneventfully, other than what Miss McCree sees. Do you all meet back for dinner, I assume?
Probably.
Okay. You as well, Byrne?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would definitely mention it.
Okay, so then
amongst the
do that.
conversation.
So you can all sit down at dinner.
Probably, like, having a conversation. Like, so how did everybody's day go?
I got a little
Fine.
light reading.
Good.
I went to visit the publisher again,
Jonah Kensington.
Kensington. I had my suspicions he was somehow involved. I offered to sell him the books if we found them. He didn't bite. So,
He didn't want to bite them at all.
Well, he was mildly interested, but he wasn't. He wasn't willing to go pay big bucks. He offered me $900 for the whole set. I didn't think that was evidence that he was
And
anxious to get it.
$900 is a lot of money, but assuming the books
anxious
are
money.
assuming the books are rare, that seems about right. He might have been eyeballing it just a little bit for the books themselves, but it's clear. Yeah, you're right.
But he's not like, I'd pay $4,000 for them right now. Like,
No.
Cash money.
Yeah,
let me go kill a cow first.
Yeah,
Minus the 74 for the cow.
So anyway, like I said, I don't know if anyone else had suspicions, but I just thought I'd share that that avenue is not on my radar. So
And everyone's rooms are in good repair. No one has been found.
I have an update tonight. I suppose I should check that out, but
No.
so far so good. The office is intact.
My
Good.
room was okay, but I did have something interesting happen. Somebody followed me from the theater. He's sitting outside about a block away.
Followed you.
Yeah, the route that I took, that person shouldn't have been where he was when I got to the hotel.
Is there a newspaper stand or some reason that Miss McCree could go outside and look nonchalant?
There's no newspaper stands. It's Newsboys.
Newsboys. That'll work. All right. Mr. Botticello, you and I need to head outside, take up stations somewhere nearby. Miss McCree, if you'll go outside and buy a newspaper from the boy out there, and if you see him, give a sign.
I'll just
Was
tip
he-
my hat.
Was he walking or driving?
He was driving a car.
All right.
I would feel more comfortable if Captain Wilkerson was at least within sight. He is good at stopping things from getting away.
Well,
I'm not sure how well Ebola will work against a vehicle.
Out of character. You're driving away. I pulled my bolo.
The little car clunks onto its side.
Just like
My work here is done.
Africa, bitch.
7 continents! Ah! Bullet! Yes.
anyway, so the procedure here will be: you identify that he's still watching you. Walk walk around the block, basically, so that you'll go to the corner, turn, and he'll have to follow you if he wants to keep an eye on you. And Mr. Botticello and I will, of course, be watching as well. You immediately come back to the hotel.
You are
stay-
wearing your duster, correct?
Yes, I'm wearing my hat. I'm wearing my duster. I have.
It might be
my,
wise for you
belt
to have your
on,
gun
my gun belt
in
on.
hand.
Do-
In the whole
Not
in-
not in
wish-
hand in New York City
Under-
downtown on the
And-
street.
and-
Do we
under
wish to
this
disable his vehicle prior to her going out there?
I think
Or at
we
least
need-
around the corner, you see.
I think we need to identify the man first.
Well, no, after she sees him, I'm
Yeah.
thinking perhaps one of the tires, not just
Well,
let the
how
air
about
out or something.
how about
Not-
how about at the corner? Like if he follows her around the corner, maybe then we could stop him and talk to him.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. So the plan is for you two to head out there and watch.
Yeah, we'll be. Well, I guess
Us
everybody
three.
maybe we should. Yeah,
I-
somebody needs to set up around the corner.
Right, I
Yeah.
imagine, I guess I'm going to the corner.
That'll work. Yes.
So you head out the front door.
Yes, I'll head out before she goes out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll wait for a little
Get in
while
position.
until
I'm going to
everybody-
come with you.
Okay.
About 10 minutes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I pull out some cigarillos that I saved from the party and
And then
get
I'll-
them from the concierge or something.
Okay.
I'll head out and cross
Let's have a
the
smoke.
street.
Okay, hold on.
Certainly.
So you two head outside.
Tea. You see that? You enjoy the rest of dinner.
So you two head outside. Are either one of you looking for this car?
I'm just going to look around and see.
Okay, give me a spot hidden.
Very good.
Nope.
Okay.
6.
You
There I
see
see no cars.
You see a black car with a white man sitting, waiting, kind of watching the front door. He's kind of hunched, or not hunched, like scooted down in his seat a little bit. Slouched. That's the word. So you two head around the corner.
Can I tell his ethnicity or anything like that?
He, white.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Some white
from
guy.
this distance and the way you're looking at him, he's white as you are,
Mm-hmm.
without the Fu Manchu. So I guess, yeah. Mr. Byrne, you head out.
Yeah, I'll go across the street and
Okay.
do the same. Look busy, but keeping an eye out.
Okay, give me a spot hidden.
No,
No. Okay.
97.
And then give me either a disguise or a hide to kind of hide what you're doing. Go ahead and double whichever one of those you chose.
Still no.
Okay. Mr. Botticello, are you also going out?
I will go
Give
out
me a
also
spot
leaning
hidden.
heavily on my stick. I rolled a 4.
On your spot hidden?
Yes.
So you see stuff?
I see stuff.
Give me a persuade for your stick.
I really should have put something in there.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. And then you're going to either disguise or hide. It's your choice to kind of fake not looking at him.
Well, hide's got a 10%. Disguise has got a 1.
Go ahead and double the hide.
No.
Okay, and then Miss McCree, you head out. You look for the car. It's still there.
No, I don't look for it.
Okay.
Well, no, you have to look for it and identify that he's still.
Well, I walk out the door and look both ways so I don't run into people.
So you notice the car.
I notice, and then I turn away from the car to walk around the.
Okay.
You give the signal, and I start walking down the street the same
I will
direction
start
she
walking
does.
towards the end of the way also.
So, Mr. Weld and Captain Wilkerson, you two are around the corner. Are you hiding at all, or are you just kind of standing there?
We're going to flag down a newsboy, buy a paper, and stand by the curb by a street post. Not necessarily just he and I are having a smoke, having a conversation, looking at the
Chat about the
paper.
news of the day.
Chat about the news of the day and
me-
wait for the car to
Give
come around
me
the
a
corner.
persuade or a disguise, either one, whichever's higher.
Okay, and when you say
I
things
didn't
like
persuade.
double it, what is that? Double the number that you have?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can double your disguise, but not your persuade. So I don't know if
Okay,
that
well,
makes a
I'll go
difference.
with persuade.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Yeah, 14 under a 55.
Yeah, you're good. Did you make it?
Oh, I'm doing it too?
Yes.
Nope.
So you've
Okay.
got little eye holes.
Got big eye holes. So Miss McCree comes around the corner. The car stops at the corner with an audible squeak because that's what the brakes make. And then he just drives straight forward pretty quickly. Like he stops and then vroom, real quick.
This is where Mr.
Bolo.
This is where Captain Wilkerson is supposed to.
Hold on, man.
He stops at the corner.
He does stop at the corner.
Then I'm going to step out to cross the street. I'm going to fold my paper and step out into the street to cross.
In front of him.
It goes right around.
It
you.
goes right around.
Unless you wish to jump in front of him and get hit by a car.
Oh no! How far away does he drive at me? I mean, in other words, is he going to cross into oncoming traffic
There
to be
really
a car
isn't-
length away from me? Or
there isn't enough traffic in the middle of the day.
well, no. But that's what I mean. Is he going into the other? In
Yeah,
other
he'll go
words,
into
if I drop my trench knife, can I slice a back wheel?
No, he is-
Okay, I didn't.
This is evening, not middle
Yeah,
of the day.
you're right. It is evening, but even in
Which
the
is fine.
1920s, it's
Okay,
not
that's fine.
dead packed,
Yeah.
you know. So no, he's not going to end up in oncoming traffic.
I mean, I'm wondering, is he going to brush by me as he goes, or is
No,
he?
he's
no.
going to leave
Yeah.
enough. He's going to
Okay.
leave plenty of room.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Well, then I have no choice.
And,
I have no chance of.
Everybody out there on
Notice-
the street.
Notice the license plate.
Yeah, give me a second. Everybody out there on the street sees him like watching you as like keeps turning back and looking at the five of you because you kind of clumped up at this point
Yeah, totally.
a little bit.
He knows we know that he knows.
I will
He knows.
wave.
You grab the full
Yeah.
license
Wave.
plate without much problem.
Finger wave.
He does this.
You jazz hands him.
Yes.
Wow.
That's not creepy.
Yeah.
Did you just do the buckwheat thing? Is that what that is?
No.
Yeah, no, he sees him look back and he does this.
Isn't that the secret cultist symbol? Crap!
Yeah, it is.
All right, do you guys all head back to dinner then, I assume?
I make a phone call
To
to
the
police.
Went back to Wentworth and
With
go,
what? Your cell
so,
phone?
Yes.
so you head
No,
back
the
in
lobby.
you head back into the front desk.
Yes.
Ask
Professor
for the phone.
Wentworth.
He said.
how
at
was
dinner-
how was the pudding?
Very good.
I liked it.
You call,
Yeah.
leave a message for
Yes.
Detective Johnson.
Uh-huh.
He'll give you a call back.
Yeah.
Kill anyone?
No, but you should ask my friend with the stick.
So you guys finish up dinner. Unless there's
Okay.
something else.
Did we get a good enough look at him that we'll recognize him if we see him walking down the
Yes,
street?
yes. I mean, you could describe him, but he's a nondescript white guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you see him again,
Be like that was him.
pretty good, yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
You guys finish dinner without much else, I assume?
Yep.
Are you all waiting around to go to this ritual tonight, I assume?
Basically.
Yes.
Are we leaving right after dinner, or
No,
does it take a break?
it's
and-
about an hour and a half drive outside of town.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back up to the
The
river.
ritual
on
must
the
be
roads,
performed at
back.
midnight. Which it does.
And then Mr. Botticello has insisted that the ritual be performed at midnight, so it'd be about 10:30 before you leave. Assuming a late dinner like you would have,
Right.
you still have a couple hours.
I have to go home and pick up
Did
some
you want to go
candles, too.
purchase anything while you were out?
Not particularly.
Not another shotgun? You
Oh no,
mentioned-
I was thinking about taking the shotgun to Erica's party, and if it got taken away from me, how I would get another.
Okay, that's
That's-
fine. I just
no,
want to
no,
make sure you had the option.
No. But I will be in full. We're doing the full pit, full
Yeah.
outload. The shotgun is coming with
I'm
me.
taking over my own.
Doing the full rollout of ammo and buckshot, buckshot ammo and the bolos and my sidearms, both of them.
I feel
and
loved.
Yeah, I have
So
I put on my
the
black
ammo
silks.
here and the
Your black
Now,
silks.
now you're in
So,
now
we
you're in
file
trouble.
out of the
With a little
hotel
white lotus?
with a ninja and a guy wearing like shotgun bandolier,
A cowboy.
rifle on his
A
back,
bandolier.
shotgun under his arm, pistol on his hip. This guy
Don't
looking
forget
like a
the
girl
bolo,
child.
Yeah.
To be fair, I have a shotgun too, but I'm not bringing it.
This guy who's eyeballing everybody.
Everybody.
And the cowgirl.
I'm following behind them, just like
And besides you,
What am I getting into here?
besides you, the cowgirl looks the most
Yeah.
normal.
Only because I'm a little wild-eyed. I'm dressed in a suit.
honestly, if they had come back and been like, "So Wilkerson went outside and boloed the car," I'd been like, "It's Wilkerson."
It's Wilkerson.
I do give
Aw.
more generous than my usual generous tips tonight.
Okay. So you guys head out to the farm.
Remember
Well,
fondly.
Come on. I got here. It's a 5 for you and a 5 for you and a 5. Oh,
I know
God.
this is weird. It'll make it all better.
You were saying, Jesse?
Yes, before we go out to the farm, I'm going to change into...
Evil cultist robes.
No, just
We haven't said it.
very worn clothing. I'm
Oh, we're gonna get
definitely
covered
going to
in
be
blood,
wearing...
aren't we? Oh no.
That's compared to how close you stand. I would prefer everybody... I'll
It is
lay out the rules
January,
when we
so
get there, yes.
very quote-unquote very warm clothing may not be that warm.
Warren.
Why?
Worn clothing.
Now I got
Yes,
it.
I am not wearing the suit that he bought me.
What's the name of this spell?
This
Blessed
spell
Blade?
is called Blessed Blade.
Okay. All right.
It doesn't actually have the ritual in
No,
the
it's
book,
fine.
but I...
Creative
And you're
one
endeavoring
for
to
it.
teach me this? Is that what you're
He's
doing?
offering.
I'm offering. You
Okay.
can watch. If you learn, that's fine. The spell must be done at midnight. There must be a certain
All right.
set of candles around.
I
Okay.
will take notes
So
appropriately.
you guys head out. You arrive at the farm. The farmer kind of motions or like waves you the 2 cars in. He set the cow up in a large barn, kind of away from the house, just as you've asked. So go ahead and describe this. Please keep in mind that we don't want to go too deep.
Okay. I will tie the cow's legs loosely to different posts around
Okay.
the area. I will make sure the harness is around the horse.
Cow.
Tied to the
Cow.
cow. Why do I keep calling it a
I
horse?
have
I need
no
another
idea.
word for horse. I don't know. Cow.
Jesse has a hard-on for killing horses.
Yeah, this is weird.
I really want to kill a horse. But anyway, though, I will lift it on the pulley to lift it above the ground.
Okay.
That way it pulls the ropes tight on the legs.
Okay.
I will line the candles around in a circle around it. I will light each candle.
Okay.
When it... did you bring brass knuckles? I really...
course.
Good. Thank you.
Nope.
Does
Matt.
the cow have any issue with this? Like, does the cow just like
it's-
whatever, or is the
when
cow
it's-
like, holy shit, I'm flying?
That's why it's
when he
legs are
ties
tied.
the legs, it's kind of like moo. But when he gets lifted off the ground, it's like moo. Like what's going on? And just kind of hangs there. Cows can be pretty docile.
Yeah.
Okay, I just
They
didn't
don't
know
care,
if it was
they
like,
just
berserk
don't care.
cow!
I will
When
lay
the
that-
cow puts 2 and 2 together and noticed that his cousin went missing the same way and goes,
It
Okay,
picks up
just-
its
I didn't
halberd
know.
and attacks.
right.
Matt, I'm going to take notes on like the type of candles, the arrangement of said
Okay.
candles,
The order he lights them in.
Yeah, all that.
I
good
will
stuff.
place the brass knuckles directly underneath the cow.
Okay.
I
reach under its ribs and pull its heart out.
Nice.
I will say the ritually words in Latin.
Okay.
What are
Gosh,
the
words. I don't know Latin very well.
All right, well, I'm just saying I speak Latin. so-
Yes, you will understand the words that I state. I state the words of the ritual. At the end of it, I also add, "Please God, forgive me for what I'm about to do," in Latin.
Okay.
I will pull out my knife. I will slice the cow from udder to neck.
Okay.
Question here: is your knife a knife or is it a ritual blade?
It is a knife. It is a bluey knife.
Okay.
But it's not like a pocket knife.
Yeah, but it's also not
but
like...
it's
No,
not
it's
a
not
red
a curvy
crystal
sacrificial
blade.
knife.
There's
Okay.
no runes or
No,
anything.
it's
So-
just a standard gluey knife.
Pulls it out,
Jesse,
and glows in the dark.
Let's
like, yeah.
talk about what this does.
Yes.
First, everyone here is creeped out just slightly by the fact that something's going on. It is clearly magic. You can all feel
I
it.
look nauseated when he's just tying the cow up.
Yes.
Yeah.
As
Like
you
you don't-
as
you
you
don't kill something, you
slice
tie it down first? Where's the
as,
sport?
as you slice the cow and finish your words, I need you to roll a d4. You lose that much sanity.
Not bad.
You lose a point of power.
Whoa.
You not lose. It's just used.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Um,
Power is... So my power drops down.
Or a magic point.
magic point.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I have some of those.
And
We all have the potential.
the ritual goes off without a problem. No one needs to shoot him, unless you really want to. This would be the time.
Then wait for it. Then don't say don't shoot him yet.
Magic,
Not yet.
creepy stuff. Everybody with hands on their guns.
Per his previous set of instructions, that has not come to the point where you have to shoot him. However,
Does he get like a perception roll at any point in time to realize that I'm just
oh no, I'm sure he's betting on it.
okay?
Yeah.
He did request it.
I did request it 100%.
Do I
I
need to
would
make
prefer
any kind
somebody
of
who
roll
wouldn't
to
do it just because I
transcribe
feel
this
like it,
correctly,
but-
Matt?
What now?
Oops.
Do I need to make any kind of roll to transcribe the process?
No, you have an idea. It would take you time to really understand the ritual. If you
Gotta
want
kill
it,
4 or 5 cows.
if you want to learn this, you can.
Okay.
Give me an occult roll. Actually, George, you can also give me an occult roll.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You both know that you can do this. You also know that that some of the stuff he's doing here probably doesn't have to be done the way he's doing it.
Yes.
And you could modify this spell to do more than just bludgeoning objects, because he's clearly doing it for a bludgeoning object.
Can you do it on firearms,
No.
swords?
Slashing blade,
Melee weapons.
melee weapons.
And does it
only.
feel like...
But this is specific.
Lion
Like he
paws.
only knows how to do it on a bludgeoning weapon. You could modify it. It would take some time to do it on a slashing weapon or a piercing weapon.
Now, what about... Obviously, there's some sort of sanity loss involved. I assume that's apparent to us. Does it feel evil or corrupted or... other than the just inherent weirdness of magic, is there
Nope.
anything that's kind of dark?
I mean, he's killing an animal. He's taking life force and transferring that into another essence. But other than that, it doesn't feel evil. It
Right.
feels corruptible. As you can see, it's pure magic. I mean, that's just what it is.
As a side question, this is just me being me. Could you do it to bullets,
No.
like slugs? No.
I asked that.
Just checking.
You have to do it for
Every
each
time.
But you lose.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Got a few magic ones, too.
When it's done,
Yeah.
I will pick up the brass knuckles, I will shake some of the blood off, and I will hand them to you. I
The-
will then walk over to you guys.
Does he look bat-ass crazy?
Nope.
As far as I know,
Okay.
all rituals require things. I never know what is going to happen to me when it happens. I will tell you, the candles at midnight was my thing.
The candles still are part of the ritual. The timing doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The candles are still part of the whole ritual.
We can
of
do
the
it at 2
effect.
p.m. on a Friday,
Yeah.
basically. if we
You
felt
could do 2 p.m. on Friday without the candles, but to him,
Yeah,
even
the
though he
candles
knows
are-
the candles
yeah.
don't have to be there, it's part of the ritual for him.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason it activates the way it does.
Yeah, I still have to do it.
You would-
Just
yeah.
the way I prefer it. It's a ritual. It has to be done ritualistically.
Mr. Botticello, that was enlightening, but can you do more other things?
I have not tried.
Do you have knowledge of similar practices?
I do not see why this would not work on something else.
That's not what I mean.
That's not what he's asking.
No, this is all that I know. I hope to learn more
Oh,
for use against the things we come across.
yes.
And if at any time I become something that we come across, I do hope.
And
You guys
I'm
will-
still, literally, we're having the conversation, and I'm looking through the sites as you're talking.
Take care of any problems that arise.
Oh, of course.
Understood.
Because until Psycho gets in the car, I'm not taking the gun off.
Okay. Anything else while you guys are out at the farm?
I have the lion paws with me, of course, and I show them to you. Do you think there's energies in these? Do you think something similar was done?
Roll your occult.
I made it.
No. There is clearly something there. Not something you're familiar enough with.
That there is something here, but I am not familiar with what it is.
Not this ritual.
No, it is not the same thing.
I tucked them back into my sleeves.
Anything else while you guys are out here?
What happened to the cow? I mean, obviously it died.
It's dead. It's just
but-
hanging there.
So it didn't scorch or burn or twist or grow horns or sprout tentacles or...
There was... give me a natural history.
Ah! Dice down! Oh, no.
Okay, yeah, not that you're aware of. Anybody else with natural history that would, want to roll that.
And I can imagine as distracted I am with watching him wander
You got
through
it?
with it.
Yep.
It's a lot of blood. Like, shouldn't have bled that quickly that much.
So, geyser reaction.
Not geysery, but just like... If a human body holds, 4 liters or something? 6? Okay. And a cow probably handles, twice that, I would assume. Let's just assume. All 12 of that probably came out.
I guess.
Like
it was
how it's
mystically
dry now?
drawn from the cow?
Yes. The life essence left the cow through the blood into the blade, or into the knuckles.
I will say a little prayer over the cow of the body and bow to
So,
it.
amongst my notations, I'm going to make a note of the fact that this could probably be done on a human sacrifice.
Yes. You would have to have something large enough. Like, children may not be enough.
Like adult.
Yeah. But, hey, you know what? Johnny, your brass knuckles can now punch things that cannot be touched.
Cool.
So you
Ghost
can
touch brass knuckles?
Yes, essentially.
Nice.
That's all it really does. But
And is there anything left in the cow at all? I mean,
There's
any
organs and that
no.
kind of stuff.
No. I mean, any twitch, any movement, and do I have to put the cow down?
Nope, it's down.
Okay, all right.
Cow down.
It's one of those where I don't. Granted, we just performed a sacrifice, but if there's anything that is like, well, I don't want the cow to suffer. I mean, as it were.
So
Other than that,
And are you going to tell us what the effect of this spell was?
I've told it's the exact same thing as if I'd done too much shillelagh. It allows me to reach out and touch things that normally do not like to be touched.
So it allows you to interact with another plane, essentially.
I was going to
roll
say
your occult.
he didn't describe what it
You
did
can
in the
roll yours,
first
yeah,
place,
yeah.
as far as
He
I
did.
knew.
He did one in the previous episode.
Lot
Yeah.
6.
I wasn't. I purposely was ignoring
Probably
that
not.
information.
Dimensional travel and
No, I mean like
but,
dimensional.
yeah.
I mean like phase shifted more.
Yeah, but like ghosts would be what you guess what he's talking
Yeah,
about, or something of that ilk. You're not familiar with anything else, but
The incorporeal.
yeah,
The things in the basement.
Yes.
Spirits.
No, internally my character is now questioning whether I can come up with something like this for a pair of glasses that would let me see them instead of actually touch them.
you could spend time doing that, but you'd have to probably know other magic first.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to study the occult books and all that fun stuff. Lose about 40.
What
70
occult
points.
books?
I'm just saying.
No, what occult books? You mean the mythos books?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's much worse than the occult books.
Yay! Oh.
So,
But yes, if you are interested in learning this, I am more than willing.
now
to
that you've
spend
seen it, you
time.
don't need his help. I mean, honestly,
Well, no. Like internally now, I'm trying to figure out like, can I do the thing with the glasses, where I'll be able to see them? Could I enchant a ring to warn of their localized presence?
I guess you could spend time researching that.
Yeah, like stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, I'm not really interested in bang bang shoot 'em up. I want to know I'm gonna walk through this door and something's gonna jump out and kill me.
You're all.
I want the
Okay,
glowing
we can't go in
sword
there.
from Lord of the Rings.
Nice.
I want to know when the ogres are close by.
Anything else while you guys are out at the farm, or you head back?
By the way, I'm sorry about your car.
My car?
Yes.
Turn
wrong with
around,
my
it's covered in
car?
blood.
I need a ride back, and I didn't bring a change of clothing. I
Oh, he's
forgot.
covered in blood.
He's not covered, but it ain't pretty. It looks like he just murdered a cow.
Surprisingly.
You didn't bring anything.
Forgot all about it. I bet too. It was on my list of things
Hey,
to grab.
Eva, would you mind riding with these guys?
So,
I don't mind.
back to your car.
All right, take it off.
So Eva climbs in the car
You're
with you
leaving
three, and you hear as you're going to the car. All right, take it off.
You hear Will laughing in the other car, like it's really loud.
Do we lose sanity when he starts to
No.
take it off?
Oh, I will strip down.
All right, you guys head back. Had a nice restful day.
I had heard tell of some of the aboriginals that did these sort of bloodlettings and whatnot. I always.
I will check to see if I've heard back from
Scoffed.
Harvard at all on the scepter.
You arrive back. Check at the front desk. You have a telegram from Miriam. I would love to have the book back as soon as possible. Send care of blah blah blah. Deliver it personally if you'd like. Harvard is not that far out of the way from Arkham, so it's not necessarily a terrible.
But it keeps it for now.
Oh, right, because you want to find out relevance.
All right, so are you guys going to go on the next day to Arkham?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
assuming we can get a decent night's sleep.
Yeah,
I will.
Because it's 1 a.m. by the time.
yeah. I'm going to assume. Let's just
I'm gonna sleep the same way I did last night.
Okay.
I'm gonna sleep that way for the rest of my life.
okay. Let's skip ahead just a little bit as you arrive in Arkham. Nothing's going, but I would like to progress this along.
Oh,
So you arrive in Arkham at Miskatonic to find Professor Wrongbook. Hey, Professor Wrongbook.
Hello, Professor Wrongbook.
Yes, Professor Anthony Cowles. Professor Cowles, as you guys remember, is an occult expert from Australia. There was an information in one of your notes that led you to him.
He was touring.
Yes. You arrive on campus and kind of ask around to a couple of the students. They point you directly towards his home. Turns out he has a really beautiful daughter, and he's kind of known for that reason. Like, oh, it's Professor Cowles. Did you hear about how gorgeous his daughter is? So all of the men on campus know exactly where he lives.
Stalking.
Professor Cowles' bungalow is on Pickman between West and Garrison. Not that this all matters.
Wait, Hickman?
Pickman.
Yep.
He had a street named after him?
Yep. The professor greets you at his home. He doesn't happen to have any classes this morning. Gentlemen and young lady, what can I do for you? Come in, sit down. He brings you into a small parlor.
He called you lady.
What can I do for you this morning?
Well, thank you for having us, Professor.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you very much.
I'm always happy to host another professor, such as I'm not quite as good as you.
You are.
He is probably or 2 decades your senior almost. So, what can
Didn't Miriam say something to me about him?
Yeah, it's just that he was in the country here. Yeah. What can I do for you?
I look pointedly at Professor Whitworth.
Well, I was told you might have some information on some books.
Actually, I believe that what you guys want to look into is he was giving a lecture.
Yeah, it touched on the subject of the books.
Cult of Darkness in Polynesia and South Pacific.
Yeah. It's got some kind of tie into dark sects of Africa.
Perhaps the cult of the bloody tongue?
No, this was just something that Elias had with him. So,
I was we should ask about Elias. His relationship, if he knows him.
so ask away, and I'll answer any questions I can.
You are connected somehow to Elias?
Elias.
Jackson Elias.
Jackson Elias. I'm not terribly familiar with him. I know his work. I may have met him in passing at one time or another, but I don't believe that I have had the opportunity to truly spend any time with the man. His insight has been fairly thorough and impressive. But as things go, I'm often busy in Sydney or here, and it makes it hard to find time for an author. Why do you have the impression that I would know Mr. Elias?
Publisher?
Have you?
It's been like 4 or 5 weeks since we have.
Yeah. That's why I pointed this out. This was with Jonah.
That was
with,
part
with,
of the
with
stuff that
Jackson.
was scattered around
Explain,
his
like,
remains.
when you were going through the things that Jackson had, one of them was the handbill for this.
Well, he
Are-
seemed to be familiar with you.
Are you familiar with the Carlisle expedition, Professor?
Yeah, vaguely, yes.
Just vaguely.
Well, I've read about it in all the newspapers, and I've heard the scuttlebutt.
And
As
what's
it
the
were.
scuttlebutt?
Oh, it was a terrible thing that the tribes attacked and killed those people.
Have you ever read anything about it that would perhaps connect with your own researches into the cults of your area of expertise?
I don't know. So you say that Mr. Elias had something that led you here.
He was interested in attending your Cult of the Darkness.
Oh, the Cult of the Darkness.
Yes.
Oh, well, I can tell you all about that if you'd like.
Please.
That would be
Okay.
great.
Well, there's a handout here that I'm going to give you guys, but I'll kind of read the points on it real quick. There's more information than what I'm about to give you verbally, but I'm going to hit all the points that are really important. Well, my lecture is basically 4 parts. The first part talks about the Bat Cult that once existed among the Aboriginals of Australia. And the god of the cult was always known as the Father of Bats. Adherents believed that by making human sacrifices to their god, they themselves would become worthy enough that the Father of Bats would appear to them. Now, there have been all kinds of information about this particular cult. It's said that their leaders could take the form of bat-winged snakes, enabling them to steal sacrifice victims from across the land. It's also said that this cult has been extinct for hundreds of years. But I'm fairly certain that that's the case. However, there are similar cults across the Peloponnesian Islands, as well as some South Pacific islands, that follow some of the same iconography and.
Does your lecture touch on anything in Africa?
No, not really. It's not my expertise. I'm more about my homeland, Australia.
You were on iconography. Continue. Please.
Yes. So they share some of the iconography, some of the songs. There's an Aboriginal song cycle that mentions a place where enormous beings gather, somewhere in the west of Australia. The songs say that these gods were not at all like men, built great sleeping walls, and dug great caves. But living winds blew down the gods and overthrew them, destroying their camp. When this happened, the way was open for the Father of Bats, who came into the land and grew strong. In fact, I happen to have these 4 slides here. He pulls out 4 glass slides. They're overexposed. Each one shows a few sweating men standing beside an enormous block of stone, pitted and eroded, but clearly dressed and formed for architectural purposes. Dim carvings seem to decorate some. Billows of sand are everywhere, though he did not bring the... There it says there's a book. Though he did not bring the book with him, he tells you about a diary he kept, or that was kept by Arthur McWhirr of Port Hedland in Australia, in which several records, or in which are recorded several attacks on the party by Aboriginals. McWhirr reportedly records deaths to victims from hundreds of small punctures, reminiscent of the early Bat cult. So there was this expedition that went to this supposed giant city. They found these stones that are clearly for architecture. You're not familiar with this cult, Jason, but it, like everything he's telling you, seems dead on. This is exactly that. But they were attacked by something, and all the deaths were attributed to these hundreds of tiny punctures on these men.
Like quills or wasp stings or
Bat fangs.
Bat fangs.
I'm getting some kind of size approximation.
Wasn't there another cult that was supposedly dead for 100 years?
The Cult of the Bloody Tongue?
No.
No.
The other
Black
one.
Wind.
Black
Wind.
The Black Pharaoh, the Black Wind.
That suddenly,
general.
oh look, there are people
Well,
dying because of it again.
I do have a
Well, we
question.
thought the Black Wind.
While you continue, could you acquire me a piece of paper and something to write
Oh,
with?
sure. He pulls out some stuff he's got right there.
I've got writing materials.
While
I'm writing
he's-
this down too.
While he's talking, I'll sketch this symbol out.
Okay. And finally, he tells you of a tale he collected from near the Arafura Sea in northern Australia. And in it, Sandbat, or Father of all Bats, has a winged has a battle of wits with Rainbow Snake, the aboriginal deification of water and the patron of life. Rainbow Snake succeeds in tricking and trapping Sandbat and his clan into the depths of a watery place from which Sandbat can only complain and is unable to return to trouble the people. So that's the basics of my lecture. He's cut it down quite a bit. It's a 2-hour lecture. He's probably spent 45 minutes on it, really going into the details and showing you the things. And,
Do you know anything of this symbol? Have you seen this symbol in any of your studies?
have not. I don't know it at all. I could research it if you would like.
That'd be great.
Okay, he takes the... Okay.
Through, I can tell if he's lying.
Yeah, sure. Roll psychology.
Do we all get a chance at that, or just the people
Sure.
acting
Yeah,
trying?
everybody can try and see if he's lying.
No.
Except Johnny.
Even if you have points, that's probably a no.
Has anybody succeeded on that psychology?
Yes. 05 of 05.
Okay. No, he seems to... Everything he's telling you is the truth.
I've already used it.
So, would it be safe in saying that Sandbat and Father Bat
They're
possibly-
interchangeable,
yeah,
yes. Yes,
okay.
absolutely.
We've heard tales of a black wind, was it? Dark wind?
cult of or God of the Black Mountain?
God of the Black Mountain, the cult of something wind. Wasn't there something
No,
about
Black Wind.
I will say that I'm not sure if you gentlemen, ma'am, are familiar with a supposed myth of this creature called Cthulhu. Are you familiar with this at all?
A cultural?
Yeah, absolutely.
17?
Why, yes, I am.
Yes.
I am as well.
Oh no.
There are some disturbing connections between this Sandbat, the things on the Peloponnesian Islands, and Cthulhu.
I go kind of white.
Okay?
What is...
I assume he's
I'm
mispronouncing
unfamiliar.
Cthulhu.
Yes. Yes.
I'm unfamiliar with this.
We can talk about it later.
It's a creature of great disturbance.
Yes.
Some call it a god.
Some do. It sleeps. It causes insanity and danger, and there are cults that follow it supposedly, though I've not met many that would even claim to be in a cult, let alone that claim to be anywhere near this. However,
Say many.
well, I've met cultists, but what they believe and what they really worship are often two different things. Often misled chaps.
Oh, you.
No.
Wow.
Oh, we got on the mic.
I have read the Penape scriptures. It's a most disturbing and disgusting tome. But,
Nape?
yes, Ponape. P-O-N-A-P-E. But it has... The copy from Sydney has been lent to John Scott of Boston and has not been returned.
John Scott of Boston?
Yes. You could roll a credit rating if you want to know if you know him. Actually, you could as well, since you're generally from the area.
6.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, he's my next door neighbor. in fact.
You can't. No? Okay. Yeah, you're familiar with him. He's not society at all. He's just a man about town that was a little weird, and he's kind of gone missing.
He's a little weird, he's gone missing, and he's not a scholar, just a eccentric, perhaps, who does this stuff?
Yes.
Well, that bears looking into. I'll bring that up later with you.
Now, there is a colleague of mine, Professor David Dodge, in Australia. If you gentlemen choose, especially you, Professor, if you choose to head to Australia, Professor Dodge would be happy to help you in any sort of expedition you might wish to head. So, is there anything else I can answer for you, folks? I don't wish to waste all of your time. You drove quite a ways.
No, you've been quite illuminating, Professor.
Your answer, I'm sorry, earlier, the question was Boston to Arkham. It's 29 miles from the center of Boston, but that's like an hour and a half drive.
Right, but it's...
Yeah.
Within,
What's the manuscript book?
You can do Boston and
Ours
Arkham
is
a day.
the Panacotic. This is something else.
Do you know anything? Penepe? Or the Penny?
Right. I'm going to ask if there's any...
Yeah.
I just want to throw out that one because that's the most threatening.
Is his manuscript at all related to the
Nope.
Yeah, Panacotic.
What we have?
Tangentially, there are creatures from that are common between the two. Information that is common between the two, not necessarily like common, like India is there, and then another book saying India is there, that kind of thing.
Do you know I can get a copy of the book you have?
The only one that I was aware of was the one from Sydney. I would have to look into it. I could look into it. It wouldn't be
I would certainly appreciate it.
Give me a few weeks, and I'm sure I could find another copy. It may have to be in a private collection, and you may have to talk your way into being able to see it.
That's fine. I might be out and about, traveling the country or something if you'd like. So just leave word with Harvard.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
While we're here, you wouldn't have to know anything about hieroglyphics, would you? Or know anybody at this university?
There's a professor of Egyptology here that you could speak with.
Okay. Have we had time to pick up the pictures?
Oh, yeah, he had.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had all day. I assume that while you were brooding, you were developing pictures.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
brooding in the dark room.
Could you tell me where it would be?
Oh, he
Where we
points
can find
you.
him, or-
He points you to the one of the academic buildings and
Okay.
gives you an office number. So, anything else, gentlemen?
Is his daughter around?
She has come in and out occasionally.
Is she as beautiful as the legends say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Like pretty in the face, beautiful, or just smoking hot from head to toe?
Smoking hot from head to toe.
Nice.
And that'll do it tonight
good to have nice
for
scenery, that's what I'm saying.
Masks of Gnarltep. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. You could leave us reviews over on iTunes. You could head to the website and check out the comics because those are awesome. Jason has a giant nose. It's real life. There are t-shirts over. There are t-shirts over at /loot at tinyurl.com/indie-shirts, and that'll do it. Oh, we want to thank Josh Schott for the music. I haven't done that in the last couple episodes. He's done a great job. You can hear me talking over it, but that's all composed by him for this podcast, so we appreciate that. And we will talk to you guys real soon.